GrassRivers will prove to be one of the most exciting and highly anticipated locations in GTA 6, and given the screenshots that Rockstar have already released to the public, I'm going to go over all the hidden details in these said screenshots and show you what you may have missed all along in these screenshots. But what's going on, guys? It is Ketch back with another video on the channel. If you're new around here, don't forget to give this a like and a subscribe on the video, and let's get straight into it. So obviously Rockstar are going for a tourism board theme here. As you can tell by this postcard, it has the Visit Leonida stamp in the corner, symbolizing that it is indeed a postcard, but also maybe part of a thing where tourism boards are a bit more prevalent. We saw in GTA 5's online that they introduced the tourism board where you could take daily pictures of animals within GTA 5 and Los Santos to get a daily reward, and maybe this is now an extension of that tourism board. And of course, in the background, we also get an amazing view of the GrassRivers with a boat going through it and an amazing sunset in the background. So we can see the insane level of detail that Rockstar have gone in when designing the GrassRivers, with the GrassRivers as visible as the eye can see, and with that sunset in the background, painting a picture on the trail of the boat that is going by in the foreground. I think the GrassRivers are going to be an exciting place to visit. So in this first image, we can see a lot of obvious, but also a few hidden details as well. First and foremost, the most obvious is that these three NPCs have evidently hunted and killed an alligator on their airboat, which is ironically called the Airgator. Kind of funny that they called an airboat the Airgator when they're hunting alligators, kind of makes sense. The photo shows that these NPCs seem to be seasoned hunters, as they have very serious looking rifles, evidently designed with hunting in mind. The mud on all three of these NPC characters suggests that there may have been a bit of a struggle in taming the gator, and that perhaps they may have hunted the alligator for killing their pet cat, which you can see dead next to the guy who is sitting down, which is an unfortunate way for the cat to go, but evidently that's might have been what happened. To the right of the guy that's standing with a rifle in his hand, you can make out a Yukon brand of tobacco, which is stashed on a suspicious pile of contraband in the corner, which potentially could be drugs or some other form of contraband. And also you can see a few unopened bottles of beer, both on the boat and on the balcony of the hunter's house behind them. The beers are unopened and could represent a victory drink for slaying the gator. They could just be there for a drink, as the hunters may have been tired and sweating and might need a drink to quench their thirst. Also, if you'll notice in the background, the no trespassing violators will be persecutor sign, suggests that these people seem quite dangerous and not people you necessarily want to mess with. And judging by the reactions of the characters in the photo, they definitely look like people you don't want to mess with. I mean, the guy with the beard looks intimidating on his own right, but the guy sitting down with the glasses looks even more serious, and the chick in the background seems to be distracted by something that's happening off camera or off the screenshot. I don't know, maybe it's some more alligators coming to them, but for the most part, these guys look like they are serious about their business, and you can tell by the way they've posed with the photo with the guy stamping his leg on top of the dead alligator that this is obviously a sport to them. Now the second image that Rockstar provided us of the GrassRivers has a bit more of a sort of cafe slash bar slash restaurant vibe about it, with the city of Leonida, I'm guessing, in the background. Now first and foremost, the first thing that stood out to me was the Watson Bay water tower in the back, and of course the city of Leonida that supports it in the background. It's quite far from the city of Leonida, judging by the background shapes of the buildings, hence the image is very focused on the foreground of the docks in the GrassRivers. The next thing that looks pretty interesting is there's an area just behind these docks where you can dock your boats and also park your car. So what's probably happened here is the NPCs have rocked up in their cars, probably with a trailer, have put the trailer away, put the boat into the river and gone out fishing, like some of the NPCs in the bottom of this photo have done in the bottom. You can't really tell that they're fishing unless you zoom it in, which I did a little bit earlier, but they are in fact moored there fishing, because there's one of the little NPCs is fishing on there. Another thing to note about it is there is a section where in the back, just in the little background, just in the middle of the bar and sort of like the lodge where people can stay, it's a little lobster sort of restaurant. There's a guy, an NPC, leaning on the front of that, probably selling lobsters or maybe works for the lobster company, and there is of course a couple of cars driving by, maybe they're selling the lobsters that they picked up from their fishing and their boating activities. The whole lobster thing might be a precursor for an activity we can do in GTA 6, maybe online, maybe in the story mode, where you can go lobster fishing and bring the lobsters in for a payment. Also, you can see the lodge has a bit of an unfinished dock where the seagulls are ironically just sitting out the front. just minding their own business. And I think this lodge will probably be something similar to the casino in GTA 5, where it just stays unfinished for the duration of the game. It'd be quite funny if that's the way they did it. Maybe it's just an unfinished building that Rockstar are still building out while they're making the game. But it is quite interesting how the lodge looks somewhat unfinished. It just looks very plain. You can't really tell from looking at it that there's much going on inside. There doesn't seem to be any rooms. But then to the right of that lodge, we have like this cafe slash bar where evidently a lot of people hang out after either fishing, or they just go there for a drink or some food or a feed, as you would call it. And then to the right of that, we have like a little walkway where patrons can either relax along the walkway or walk along the walkway, or they can watch, you can't really see it, but they can watch the sunset or the sea. And I was thinking, you can't really do too much relaxing if there's going to be noisy boat engines going about all day. If you look in the water, you can see a lot of ducks in there just minding their own business. A cool little detail, because ducks do like the sea from time to time. And I do like the whole seagulls sitting on the unfinished dock. That's kind of an interesting touch there from Rockstar. Shows that the seagulls don't really like water too much, and that there's dry land afoot. The other thing that's quite interesting to note is in the far right, a bit in the background, you see a chimney plant. Now that's why I think it is a chimney plant. It looks relatively interesting. I thought it could be an actual chimney plant, or potentially maybe a front for a business, maybe a drug business or a contraband business of some kind, selling and moving business parts out of that chimney factory. Could be similar to the Darnell Bros factory in GTA 5 story mode, where you set up the Vangelico heist. It potentially could be a place where you set up a heist. Next image that Rockstar have so kindly provided us shows a two-man crew fighting off what seems to be 5 alligators in the GrassRivers. Now there's quite a few interesting things. First and foremost, they're operating another airboat which is similar to the Alligator but not identical, so these are definitely different people. I initially thought that one of these characters, the one in the red singlet, could have been Jason holding a shotgun, but I'm not 100% sure. We don't really see too many tattoos on Jason in the trailer, and I believe this guy in the red does have a tattoo or some form of mark on his back. He's also pointing quite a long shotgun at one of the advancing alligators, suggesting that the alligators are preparing for an attack, as they could be quite hungry. It's quite interesting that the boat is surrounded on all sides by alligators. In this particular screenshot, there are 5 alligators surrounding the boat. There's 1 behind, 2 on the left and 2 on the right, pretty much potentially setting up an ambush of these NPCs. And probably the sound of the boat has potentially attracted the alligators, and the green moss and leaves that you see on the sort of surface of the river masks the approaching alligators as well. The noise of the boat may have also alerted the alligators to the NPCs, who might have been previously fishing, as evidenced by there's a little bit of bait in the corner of the boat. And it also seems like these NPCs were prepared for night fishing, as well as they also have a flashlight sitting on the couch as well. It could be another way to ward off the alligator threat as well in the GrassRivers. There's also a net for catching fish and a bucket next to the net. So it seems pretty clear that these NPCs were probably fishing and then they've come across these alligators at the wrong time, which is why the NPC in the red singlet is pointing that shotgun so threateningly at the first advancing alligator. He's probably very unaware that there are other alligators around, and so the guy who's driving the boat is also probably unaware of that as well. I potentially thought that maybe these NPCs might have gotten broken down, but there's no smoke or any evidence of a mechanical failure to suggest that that is what has happened in this situation. Maybe they were just fishing and the smell of the bait attracted the alligators, or the noise of the boat attracted the alligators to this boat, and the alligators are moving in a very threatening attacking position. And you can see the one behind, there's obviously no way that they can tell these NPCs that there's an alligator behind. The one that's being covered by the moss, the second one on the right, he's going to be unseen until the last second. So if they spring out of the water, that NPC that's driving the boat, he's going to be in a lot of trouble. And looks like this could be a potential thing to navigate when you're in the GrassRivers in GTA 6. Now this final screenshot is another example of Rockstar's stunning graphics work on display here, and we actually got a short snippet of this chase in the trailer. And yeah, I think this screenshot in particular, while there might not necessarily seem to be a lot going on, there is quite a lot going on. So in the image we can see a couple of hunters on the run with at least 3 dead alligators. in the back of the trailer trying to outrun either the Rangers or the cops. I'm guessing it's the Rangers based on the livery of the vehicles chasing them. And also there is an airboat with a couple more people in the background. Now these don't seem like they are either Rangers or police. They didn't have any uniform on to suggest they were, so they could be a rival gang trying to get even for these two hunters who have stolen their alligator and their money should they wish to sell it. The other interesting thing about it is there's a helicopter flying overhead as well. Now the helicopter doesn't have any blues and twos on. There's no visual thing that suggests that they are part of the Rangers or the cops. So potentially they could be part of this mercenary. That's what I'm going to call it, the mercenary gang in this airboat behind. That's the potential link there. I think if you look a bit further to the people in the pickup is also quite camouflaged as well, which suggests that this pickup truck may have been lying in wait for these alligators to maybe start their meal before taking them out and then wrapping them in the trailer and then driving off. You can't really see the driver of the pickup, but you can see the second NPC standing on the rear of the pickup truck with what appears to be a submachine gun, obviously using it as a means to aid and escape from the authorities and rivals on the airboat. Furthermore, there are also two more alligators to the right of this chase scene who seemingly are minding their own business. Maybe the one in the back, the second one there, just seems to be a bit more intrigued with what's going on. And further back you can see some pelicans enjoying their lunch as well. So it's quite a bit going on which you might not necessarily see. The dust sort of masks the second Ranger vehicle in the background, but you can just about make it out there that it's there as well. But all this is sort of really nicely captured in this screenshot with the stunning graphics works from the Rockstar dev team, which just makes this shot even better. I personally can't wait to chase scenes they put in the GrassRivers. It's going to be insane. I do think Jason and Lucia will have either a hard time going through this part or a really easy time going through this part. I think it could also be a potential Strangers and Freaks operation that Rockstar could potentially put out there as well. But anyway, I guess we'll have to wait and see what happens there. But that has been the end of this video, guys. I hope you have enjoyed. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below, and if you think you saw anything else that I didn't, please do let me know in the comments. And with that, guys, I will leave you to it. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you with another video very, very soon.